Welcome to the Training Ground Guru podcast in association with Huddle. In every episode, we bring you insights into the teams behind the teams in professional football. Coming up on today's episode.
I demand a lot from my players, but my players know that I always trust and believe in them, and this is what I give them also the future. It's a great sentence. I heard this from John Wooden. A good coach can change a game, a great coach can change a life. I think this is also interesting. Of course, you can improve them on the pitch, but for me it's also with my coaches around me a big part that we want to improve the players as a human off the pitch as well.
I'm Simon Austin from Training Ground Guru, and our guest on this episode is Danny Rohl. Danny has established himself as one of the brightest young managerial prospects in Europe. He started out at RB Leipzig and became a pioneer of the coach-analyst role. This took him on to Southampton with Ralf Hasenhüttl, and then to Bayern Munich and the German national team with Hansi Flick. Last season, he became a manager in his own right for the first time and led Sheffield Wednesday to one of the great escapes. When he took over, the Owls were 7 points adrift of safety with no wins in 10. By the end of the campaign, they were 3 points clear of relegation after a remarkable run. Danny told me how that metamorphosis had been achieved and charted his meteoric rise as a coach. We hope you enjoy this podcast, and if you do, please give us a follow via your preferred podcast provider. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast, Danny.
Hey, hello.
And whereabouts are you speaking to us from?
Now my home base is in Leipzig. Yeah, that's the reason why I sit in Leipzig on a lake. I think it was 4 years ago the final decision for me and my family. When you move a lot in the football business, then you never know what happens next. That was the reason why we said, okay, we want to stay in Leipzig as our home base. I worked 9 years for Leipzig, and then I moved on to different places.
So did your family stay in Leipzig while you were working at Sheffield Wednesday?
At the moment, yes, because the decision in October was very quick. And then we said, okay, my family will stay at first in Leipzig, and then we will see what happens after the first season. And now it's a difficult one. It's not an easy one to make the decision. I have 2 boys, and the one boy is in the school. And now let's have a look what we can do, what is the best for the family and of course also for me. And we will make the final decision in the next few weeks.
And we've got the Euros starting, and I know you said you're going to be doing some interesting work during the Euros. Yes,
I got the request from ITV, and I will go for 1 week to Berlin and have 5 games as an expert to speak about the games. I think it will be an exciting new challenge for me. I never have this before, but it's also a good experience for me as well.
Obviously, you work for the German national team, which we'll come on to later. But what do you think are the chances for Germany, the home nation?
At the moment, the atmosphere is very positive in the country. I think this is perfect. I think everybody is looking forward for the tournament, and hopefully we have a great start. In the last tournaments, we didn't have a good start in the tournament, and I think this is everything. If you have a great start in such a tournament at home, then you can really improve and you can create a special atmosphere. And this is what everybody looking for, and for this I cross my fingers for the team.
And it's been a difficult few years for the German national team, but do you think they're looking much stronger now under Julian Nagelsmann?
Well, I think it's always difficult. I said this before. You can have great games before the tournament, and you can have results, but all in all it's about the tournament, and that starts with the first game. And this is the reason why everybody is looking for this first game. Everybody is preparing for the first game, and hopefully the team is ready for this, but I'm very positive that they will have a great start in the tournament.
The closed season this summer is a bit of time to have a little break and spend a bit of time with your family, but have you still been very busy looking ahead to next season with Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, of course. I think the first week was about my situation. I had a good conversation with the club. We spoke about my future, and then we spoke, of course, about the future of the club, what we can improve, what we can do. Yeah, now it's about preparing the new season. It means we have to sign new good players. For me, it's about to write the schedule for the preseason, to plan the friendly games, looking for the opponents. I think it's a lot of work to do for a manager. And yeah, then you can imagine it's a balance between sometimes you need it off because we know a championship is a tough one. It will be a tough new season as well. And yeah, all in all, yeah, it's a good balance for me at the moment to enjoy some days, but I like to work. I'm really looking forward for my first preseason as a manager. This is great to see, and I think we will have a lot of good things what we can do.
Was it a difficult decision to sign the new contract? Because I could imagine you had offers from other places.
Yeah, of course there were some offers, some requests from other clubs. But for me it's also about my next step. And I think my journey was not finished after the first season in Sheffield Wednesday. But the crucial thing is for me how we can improve as a club, how we can improve the squad. And I think this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is what I want to try at the moment. It's not always easy at the moment, the market, but we have some good players in our mind, and this is now convince them, try to get them, and hopefully then we have a stronger squad than in the last season.
And I thought of you actually when I saw that Hansi Flick had gone to Barcelona. Obviously, you worked with him for Bayern Munich and Germany. Was there any request to go there with him?
Not this year. Yeah, I think there was some rumors 3 years ago about this step as well. Then there was no question mark to join with him. But I think now, yeah, I start my own career as a manager. I start my own journey, and it was very clear for me that I want to stay and I want to improve myself as a manager. And yeah, I wish Hansi all the best. Yeah, we are still in contact, and I'm really happy for him. It was a little bit also a dream for him to join Barcelona. It's a huge club and a great city, and I think he will have a great time there and hopefully a successful time as well.
And what you did at Sheffield Wednesday last season was unbelievable. I've got some stats here. I think 2 points from the first 10 games when you came in. Only one of the first 18 league games. Yet you stayed up. I think it was 3 points in the end, so fairly comfortably. How do you reflect on that first season now?
Yeah, at first it goes very quick when I started October there. I think you really never know what you can do with this group. Yeah, of course you have an idea how you want to play football. You have something in your mind, and I was really looking forward to my first step as a manager. And then you see, okay, we have still 35 games to go. It looks at first massive. But then, you start in a new league. I think the championship, it's a special one. It's a really strong league. I think for me, behind the top leagues and from Europe is then immediately the championship. You have a lot of games. And then you have a lot of up and downs during the season. I think that was the biggest challenge for me and for my team. Yeah, we come always back from some setbacks. But that was our journey, and for me it was important that we always look to our process. I think we improved a lot. We improved very quick as a team, but the results weren't good. Yeah, because when you look back, the first 6 games when I started was just 1 win. But the direction was very good, and I think that was for me a positive signal. My team has a great mentality. They were really open-minded for all the new things. And especially at the beginning, it was important and the crucial thing that we find a balance between increase the intensity, but also looking for the injuries. Yeah, this is normal when you start with a new philosophy with a lot of sprints and high intensity. Then you have to always pay attention for the injuries, and all in all we managed it well. We had a good load management, And then we have step-by-step improvement. I think it was a big result against Leicester at home. I think in the extra time we make the equalizer. That was, for me, a key point. And from this point we start to take points and took points. Then we come closer. We had a fantastic game against Hull at home. It was the 1st of January. We won 3-0. And then we were really close, from 13 points behind the line. We come close to 3 points. That was fantastic. But for me, it was at this moment very clear that it will be a tough challenge until the end, because I saw then to our schedule. We played against Southampton, Coventry, some good teams from the top of the table. And then, we had a big game against Huddersfield. And we lost 4-0. I think this could be a moment where your team drop down and maybe it's then raise the right flag. But after this game, I had a clear message to my team and I said, guys, we had still 16 games to go, and there's a big opportunity to achieve our goals, but it will be a tough challenge. And from this moment on, we start really to win games. I think we had some good signs in the January window with Poveda, Ukpu and James Beadle. I think that was also a crucial thing, and I think we find the right pieces for our success. And then we had a great run with a lot of wins, but it was sometimes hard for our mindset, especially for the players. Even we won from 6 games, 5 games, we come not closer or not over the line, and it was a big challenge to keep going, don't look to the table, focus to ourselves, and then we come closer, and then the last difficult moment was after the Stoke game. We played well, but it was just a draw at home. And then we knew it's just 3 games to go. The schedule was not easy, to go to Blackburn at home against West Brom and then go away to Sunderland. But I said, guys, if we win, and we will win the next 3 games, then we will stay up. And at the end, we had our happy end. I think this described a little bit my mindset as a manager, that I'm always positive, I always believe and have trust in my players. That was for me a big experience in Munich. I learned a lot from Hansi, how you can lead a group in this direction. And this was what I took, and this is what I give my players as well.
And I was looking back in my phone and I messaged Josh Windass on 22nd October. So I think that was your first week, was it, at the club? And I just said, how's the new manager? Because I know he's very interested in coaching, so I know him a little bit. And he said, unbelievable, he will keep us up. And I thought, no chance, but I didn't say that. But how did you win the players over so quickly?
I think when you arrived in a club, then it was very important for me that I give my players immediately a direction how we want to play and how we can have successful. I showed them 3 ways how we can play football, how we can control the game. Of course, one big part was our active front foot defending, high pressing situation. That means always if you have high ball winning situations, you have a short way to the opponent goal. That was one way. A second way was for me to have a good net for counter pressing, win the ball back, and again a short way. And the last point, and that was for me a big point when I looked to my team before, I want to improve the ball possession. I saw that the team didn't create chances, they didn't have ball possession, and it was for me a big part also to the beginning in the week when I arrived there, that we start immediately to find solutions with the ball, have a better net, have a good structure. And this was a lot of topics in the first week. The difficult one was that after the first week we had immediately 3 games in a row in 7 days. You can't train so much. It was a lot of meetings. And then we had the first win at home against Rotherham. That was special. And after this game, the relationship between the team, me and the supporters were very connected, and I think that was a crucial point.
I always think that fans and maybe media think that a manager will win over a group by having a big personality, doing big speeches. But I think players actually want a manager who they think is very good and who can help them improve and help the team improve. That's what I think they look to. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think my way to lead a group, there are two things. Of course, one thing is that you have to convince your team about the tactical things. Give them a clear identity. I think that was also my first press conference. I spoke about I want to create identity, and everybody should know what is now Sheffield Wednesday with the manager Danny Röhl. And the second thing is, and this is also a big part, how you lead the group. And it means for me, I always look behind the players as well. I think every player is a human, and from this point you need this connection between your players as well. I believe 100% in this. You cannot just look to the tactical things and you looking not to the human behind. Yeah, for me it's always about I see at first the positive things from a people. I'm open-minded for all the players. I demand a lot from my players, but my players know that I always trust and believe in them, and this is what I give them also the future. It's a great sentence. I heard this from John Wooden. A good coach can change a game. A great coach can change a life. I think this is also interesting. Of course, you can improve them on the pitch, but for me it's also with my coaches around me a big part that we want to improve the players as a human off the pitch as well.
And how did you find out about them as humans? Did you do research before you went in, or was it what you did when you got there with your assistants as well?
I tried at first to have an individual meeting, to have a conversation, to get a feeling. And sometimes it's not just about to sit in the office and have a speak with the players. Sometimes you watch the players, you look to your players on the pitch, and then there's a moment where you can go in, or you walk to the pitch, then you have 1 minute where you can speak with your players. I think all the small details. And then it's also great to have people around you. They're also looking like you and have the same view, and all the information you can collect. And then you have an idea what the players need. I think you have some players, they need sometimes a bit more pressure to improve. Some players, they need more smart words to help them, give them more and more belief. I think you have a lot of different characters in your team, and I think this is, beside the tactical things, the biggest part, how you can improve your team as well.
Do you believe in that thing of having the leaders within the dressing room as well, who can help you to manage the other players?
I'm honest, I have in the past different teams around. And when I compare this and with Sheffield Wednesday, I must say we had some really good leaders in the dressing room. They are different. Sometimes it's not a leader there who is just talking. Sometimes it's also a leader who showed with a good performance on the pitch to be a leader. And I think you need the different profiles in your team as well. This is for me, like in my coaching team, I have really, really different profiles as my assistant coaches. That was a big part when I bring all the coaches together. I know my strength. I know what we need in a group. And I think all in all, you need the strong leaders on the pitch, off the pitch. But to have just leaders in your group, then you can also not win games, because you need also some guys that are just, I will not say just, but they are workers, and they go and follow the direction. And this balance and this mix you need for a successful team.
How do you manage training? Would you lead a session every day? Because I know some head coaches have different approaches. Like I remember Ancelotti, I think he just led the Friday session, the 11v11, where they were doing the shape.
Honestly, it's different. For me, it's of course clear. I plan the schedule during the week. I give my assistant coaches a clear picture what I want to see the whole week. I know the championship, we have not so often the week from Saturday to Saturday. You have more the midweek games. But if you have this week from Saturday to Saturday, then it's important that my coaches know the schedule for the week. I prepare them the topics, I prepare the trainings exercises for them. But on the pitch, I give my assistant coaches the responsibility as well. I think this is a good mix between my assistant coaches. Everybody need also a responsibility for a part of the game. This is important. This was my experience as well as assistant coach. When you have not this responsibility, then I'm convinced over a year, then you will be not happy. You need this, and I think that works very well. For me, it's then important that I push my players in the intensity or give them small details, advices on the pitch. But I have no problem that my assistant coaches lead the training session. My training, it's very different. It's complex. We start with a warm-up, then we have always passing drills. But I always look to prepare the training, not just to train. I always look what we can take from the game, and then we can create some exercises from the game to improve our style of football.
And you were talking earlier about your playing identity, and you were talking about the pressing. Is that heavily influenced by your time at Leipzig then and the Red Bull model?
Yeah, of course. I think when you worked 9 years for Leipzig, you will get a good injection from pressing and transition moments. But honestly, in the second year of the Bundesliga with Leipzig, we improved also with the ball possession, because when you are stronger and stronger in the league, then there comes a moment where you have more and more the ball. And it means you have to improve as well. And in this part, then the experience in Southampton was different. You were more the underdog. You played more against a stronger team. It was about have your identity, but you have also to adapt sometimes to the next opponent. And then, I come to Munich, and I think Munich were very successful, especially in the first year when we won 7 titles, because we had a clear direction what we want to do. A big part in this time was also that we had a good pressing, but of course with Munich you have a lot of ball possession, and I improved and developed as well in this direction as well. My style of football, how you can have solutions in the final third, that's a big part when you are the assistant coach in Munich. And from all these different stations you take something, and this is now my identity. The big topic, it's always for me active and courage decisions. This is what I demand from my players and for myself as well, bold decisions. I think when you look back to take Sheffield Wednesday in October, I think it was, for example, a bold decision. Not everybody maybe take this job as a first manager job, but I saw the chance and the challenge. For me, it's also clear it was a game against Norwich. We didn't play well in the first half. In the halftime, I made 4 subs. This is also for me bold decision. I'm then not the coach to just cross the fingers and wait for something happens. For me it's be active, and this is what I demand from me and for my team as well.
Because I often don't think of the high possession going with the high press as well. I often think of them as being different strategies, but they can work together.
Of course, I think in the modern football you need all the 4 phases, with the ball, against the ball, in the 2 transition moments, and set pieces. I think this is also a big part. We should not forget this. But when you have a good structure against the ball, then you have also immediately a good positioning with the ball, because then everybody is in the right positioning. You have target zones where you can make the transition offensive. And to have ball possession, it's not just to have ball possession. For me, it's always ball possession, a tool to prepare the next attacking stuff. This is what I showed my players. This is also what we are looking for in the meetings, to give my players these points where we can attack. Sometimes you need maybe the first second and third pass to lure the opponent, but then when the opponent start to press, then you have to attack, and then it's from a really attacking forward, playing forward. And then it means we need a good net as well. Yeah, we have to travel together. I always speak about we have to travel together. Otherwise, we have big distances between the players, and then you have not a chance to come at the counter pressing. And all the things we improved. And when you also look to our goals in the last season, were very different goals. We had, for example, against West Brom, I think it was 2 goals after transition, offensive. But against Sunderland, we have both goals we scored. It was ball possession after, I think the first goal was after 18 passes and the second one was 25 passes or something like this. Yeah, I think this is difficult, and this is also difficult for the opponent to prepare what happens as next. Yeah, I have an identity, I have my clear principles, what I want to see, but I'm open and I'm flexible from game to game. And I think this is for me also a big part to improve your team.
Are you quite pre-planned in your build-up? So would you have certain moves that you do and that are planned and that the players know going into the game?
Again, yeah, at first, when you ask me what is your shape or your system, for me it's more about that we have principles. And then we come from these principles from game to game to different setups. Yeah, that depends from the opponent. At first we look always how we can build up from the goalkeeper, what makes the most successful to come to the next zone. Yeah, then we're looking which positioning we need. And if we have then the building up from the goalkeeper, then we come to open play. Yeah, the next step is then to find the solution building up against the midfield pressing. The biggest challenge is always the final third, because you need habits, you need good solutions, and you need also the quality of your players, because they have to make the decisions. And I think this is also a big part. We as a manager or we as a coach can give our players a lot of principles. We can help them, but the decision making on the pitch is about the players, and this is for me a big part in the training. Yeah, to bring my players always in situation where they have to make decisions. I like to have in building up some habits, but I want to see also players, they make the decisions on the pitch instead of to say, yeah, you have to pass always to them or you have always to pass to them. Yeah, this is then for me decision making.
That's where I see that a lot of teams can become stuck really in the final third, especially if it's like a low block and the opposition have got back in shape. It can be very hard, can't it, to break down, and you might then put a kind of speculative cross in or something like that. So that's the tricky bit, as you say.
Yeah, of course. The final third, this is the biggest challenge. You can increase your chance when you have a lot of players in the box, around the box. I come back to my word, travel together. When you have not a lot of players around the box, into the box, then the chance is less than you have a lot of players into. We scored a goal at home. I don't know which team it was, but we had 9 players around the box and just 2 players in the rest defense. I think this is a direction what I like, but this is about hard working to come to such situations, and I think this is the biggest challenge for every each team.
But then I suppose there's the risk if you lose the ball, isn't it, on the transition? If you have 9 players around the area, then you're vulnerable.
Yeah, of course. I think this is then also part when I look to the opponent, how my structure and building up is. Sometimes, for example, you can build up in a 2-3 positioning, because then you have 3 players in the midfield to go immediately in counter-pressing. Sometimes better to have a 3-2 positioning. Yeah, these are the small details, and this is what I prepare during the week with my team and give my team the advice in the meetings. But all in all, when we speak about the bold decisions, then I'm looking more forward instead of backwards.
And I was quite surprised when you took the job in the first place, because you were assistant with the German national team before, so a big job. What was your thinking there? Was it a difficult decision to take the Sheffield Wednesday job?
At first, I felt very much energy in my body. Yeah, sometimes when you when you are sacked in the position, then maybe you need time and you want to reflect and you want to have feedback. But for me, I was really sharp to have really the first step as a manager. And then, of course, you see the table, you look at games from the team, but then I saw really the chance and say, okay, there's so much potential around this club. When I see and when I saw the pictures from Wembley, from the massive supporters, and when I saw that I can implement really my football with my style and with the intensity, and that was the reason why I was convinced that I can help the team. But honestly, in October, I didn't know that you need 53 points to stay up. Yeah, I think that was a little bit the X factor. You never know. I come back to my last speech to my players before the Sunderland game, and I said to my team, guys, if we stay in the league and we will do this today, then you will see in the future there will some teams look to Sheffield Wednesday and will say, look, this team took so many points and stayed up, even they had a terrible start. At the end, we had our happy end. Everybody is happy, but now the focus is go forward and look into the next season as well.
Our podcast sponsor, Huddle, offer exclusive video and data from the best youth football competitions in the world with Y-Scout youth competitions. From under 14s to 21s, scout the best talent playing in the major youth football competitions around the globe. Make the correct scouting decisions with objective data from over 70 competitions, 900 teams, and 11,000 players. For more information, go to huddle.com/TGG/Y-Scout.
Spinning right back to the start of your career, so I understand you're a player in the lower leagues in Germany. Then you got into coaching very young with Leipzig, is that right?
Yeah, it's right, yeah. I played for the under-21 for a club in Leipzig beside my studium in the university. Then I had an injury, and then I started as a first analyst from RB Leipzig. Then I joined as an assistant coach as well, because it was always for me very important that I have this connection between the meetings, the analyzing, and the pitch. Yeah, because for me this is a crucial thing, that you can bring the transfer from the meeting room to the pitch. Yeah, and yeah, that was the reason why I had both jobs. Yeah, I started as an assistant coach in under 16. Then I moved on to the assistant coach under 17. It was very successful in this age. We were the second of the German football. We had the final. We lost the final against Borussia Dortmund, but it was a huge step. And then a manager in Leipzig said, okay, I want to have you as an analyst in the first team. I was a bit scared about that I'm just the analyst now for the future, yeah. But it was for me important that I'm the analyst and the assistant coach to bring again the video together with the exercises on the pitch. Then I started by the professional team in Leipzig, and then with the coach Rolf Hasenhüttl, he took me as a second assistant coach, and then I was very happy. We had a good relationship, we had a good coaching team around us. It was fantastic. That was a huge step for me. And then there comes a point after 9 years in Leipzig when I said, I want to move on, I want to have a new challenge, I want to come out from the comfort zone. And that was then the reason why I moved on with Rolf Hasenhüttl to Southampton. Yeah, I think that was also for me personal a big step, a big improvement, a big experience. And it was the first years to come to the point. And then, and this is football sometimes, yeah, then I got a call from Munich. Then in Munich, Hansi Flick took over from the assistant coach to the manager. That was for me then, I was the first assistant coach from him. Then we were successful, and then it comes step by step more and more. But during all the time, my feeling to be a manager increased, and it was bigger than bigger. Yeah, I think when I start my career, then I was happy to be assistant coach and analyst. Yeah, and I had more and more the feeling that I'm ready to be a manager. And last year when I finished my pro license, then I said, and I had a good conversation and an open conversation with Hansi about my future. And then I had the feeling that the time will come now to make the step forward. But then in football, you never know when it's the time, when you get the opportunity. And in October, then I got the opportunity, and then it was clear for me, I want to do this, I want to start. Even it's a risk, yeah, of course.
And I think you were a real pioneer of that coach-analyst role, because we have started to see that more and more now. Like, we had a guy called Mark Leyland on the podcast, and he did that with Newcastle. Now he's with Manchester City. But I think maybe you were the first to do it at a high level.
Yeah, I think, and this is, I think, a big part. An analyst is like a coach. Yeah, because you have to understand the football, and you have especially to understand what your manager want to have. Yeah, I think there is a difference maybe between analysts who prepare all the meetings and who can work with the tools, or you are more a coach analyst where you can really make decisions or help to make good decisions for the manager. And in the last years, I always thought like a manager. Yeah, I always thought about what I want to do when I'm the manager now, and I think that was helpful. But you should not forget that, especially when you work and you can work with the laptop and with the tools, then you are still a human, a coach with emotions and with all the things. Yeah, I think this is also a big part. You cannot be just a tactical genie on the laptop, but you need also the human side, how you can teach your group, how you can improve your group, how you can bring all the tactical stuff to your players. And I think this is a big part. And I had the feeling that I can do this. And when I compare now my job, of course, then the biggest in the news challenge was to lead the group in all the difficult moments. Yeah, as an assistant coach or as an analyst, for example, after defeat, you can sit in the corner, you can listening to the manager, and that's it. But now I have to go in front of the team. I have to be positive. I have to go forward, and I have to believe and give the belief my players. And I think this is, of course, we are always humans. Yeah, this is also for a manager sometimes not an easy job. Yeah, when you have a big defeat and the next morning you have to go in front of your team. But important is that you have then really the belief and the trust in your team, and you can do it again and again. And I have a good slogan on the pitch, off the pitch. I said to my team two things. At first, we cannot change the past, but we can change the future. And all in all, there's no time for disappointment. Yeah, it's the same on the pitch. If you lose the ball, you can be disappointed and you can say, "Oh, it was not good." Or you go again and hunt again, and you get the ball back, and then you are happy. Yeah, and I think this is a big part of my football style as well.
Yeah, because I think back to that game against Ipswich in March when you lost 6-0. And again, looking from the outside, I thought that could be a huge setback. They could be in trouble, but then you didn't. You went again.
Honestly, the game in Ipswich was different. Of course, when you look to the paper, then you say, "Oh, 6-0, a big defeat." But I said this in some games that you have two ways to go to Ipswich. They had a good run. You can try to play active, and you can try to play your football, and you are brave and make bold decisions, and you play with courage. And then it could be that it will be after the game a big defeat because they are stronger. Or you go to a game and you say, yeah, okay, let's have a look. We try to play defensive and we stay deep. And then even in this, you can concede goals. This is not the big point for me. The big point is after the games, how you react after defeat. And it was really great to see for my team Sometimes after defeat, I had in the past some teams, then you had a feeling, match day +1, oh, the team now it's really down. But by my team, they were immediately on fire by the next training session. They had a spirit that you feel immediately they want to show again that they are better than the last result. And this mindset was fantastic to see.
Fantastic. And what are your ambitions for the future going forward? Because you're still young, you're only just 35, your career's been on the up and up.
Yeah, football, you can have dreams and you have goals. Of course, 5 years ago when I left Southampton, I worked in the Premier League, and for me it is a big goal to come back to the Premier League. I like this league, I like the English football. Yeah, that was also the reason I said always, if there's a chance to go to the UK, I want to do this. Yeah, this is a big part. I want to work on the high level. Now as a manager, I worked on a high level as assistant coach with Munich or with the national team. That was great to see. And now it's for me about make the next step, improve yourself. A big goal is for me, work on the highest level, and it means, for example, Premier League, when I have the choice, or when you come from Germany, then of course Bundesliga is also a big goal.
Could Sheffield Wednesday even go to the Premier League under you, do you think?
Yeah, we have to do a lot of things right. The competition in the championship, it's tough. But I saw also the last season, if you ever run, you can take the momentum with you, then there's always a chance. And especially with Sheffield Wednesday, you have a great supporters. I think they are dreaming for more. But again, we have to do a lot of things right. We have to play good football, we have to sign good players, and we have to develop the club step by step, also in different phases like the facilities and so on. And if we do this, then why not? Yeah.
And do you think the owner is fully believing in the project now, fully behind it with the momentum you've created?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think that was the reason why maybe he got me the offer to extend my contract. I think we both, the owner and my person, we dream from the Premier League one times, and if we make good steps forwards, then there's a chance, of course.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, Danny.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to be part of your podcast, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Training Ground Guru podcast in association with Huddle. We'll be back next month with another episode. In the meantime, you can follow our latest updates on the website and on Twitter @ground_guru.